Boom, nigga, what up, man? It's your boy on Potassium, man. How y'all doing, man? Back in the game with another reaction video. This time we're gonna be reacting to 8 true disturbing horror stories compilation done by Mr. Night Scares. Go check it out. Let's go. Let's begin.
I live alone in a small house on the edge of town. It's a quiet place with only a few neighbors nearby. Most nights I enjoy the silence. It helps me relax after a long day at work. But one night the silence became something else, something unsettling. It was a Friday evening and I had just come home from work. I remember it was cold outside with a drizzle that made everything look gray. I locked the front door behind me, kicked off my shoes, and headed to the kitchen to make a simple dinner. I wasn't expecting anyone, so I planned to spend the night watching TV and maybe reading a book. After eating, I settled onto the couch with a blanket wrapped around me. I flipped through the channels, but couldn't find anything interesting, so I decided to watch a movie I
want to pause it real quick. This is vibey as fuck.
Had seen a dozen times before. It was comforting, knowing what was going to happen next. Halfway through the movie, I started feeling drowsy. My eyelids grew heavy, and I began to doze off. But just as I was about to fall asleep, I heard a noise. It wasn't loud, just a faint scratching sound, like something brushing against the side of the house.
We just fucking started.
At first, I thought it might be the wind, or maybe a branch rubbing against the wall. But then I heard it again, this time closer to the window. I sat up, suddenly wide awake. My heart started to race as I listened closely. The scratching sound continued, slow and deliberate. It didn't sound like the wind anymore. I muted the TV, and the silence in the room grew thick and heavy. The sound moved to the back door, and I realized someone was trying to get in. I stayed frozen on the couch, not knowing what to do. I didn't have any weapons, and my phone was on the kitchen counter, too far away to reach without making noise. My mind raced.
Hold up, has this guy never tiptoed inside the house? You never woke up at 5 a.m. in the morning, needed some water? You know what I'm saying? Or eating the last leftovers before people wake up in the morning and they eat it themselves? You ain't never had to do that. You ain't never had to leave and sneak back in, right? You ain't never had to do none of that? That's crazy. That's crazy. You ain't never had to sneak.
Thinking of all the possibilities. Maybe it was just an animal. I tried to convince myself. The scratching stopped, and for a moment there was only silence. I held my breath, straining to hear anything. Then the back door handle rattled. Someone was trying to get inside. Fear gripped me as I silently...
Fear? What is he talking about, man? Your body get robbed, nigga. Get ready, nigga. Get tight, bro. What is you talking about?
Slipped off the couch. I moved slowly, careful not to make any noise, and crept toward the kitchen to grab my phone. I knew I had to call the police, but I also knew that any sound might alert whoever was outside. As I reached the kitchen, I heard the door creak
The police?
open. My heart pounded in my chest as I realized the back door was unlocked. I had forgotten to lock it when I came home. I cursed myself for being so careless. I grabbed my phone and ducked behind the kitchen counter, my hands trembling as I dialed 911. I could hear someone stepping into the house, their footsteps slow and deliberate. They were inside. The 911 operator answered, but I didn't dare speak. I could only listen as the person moved through the house, checking each room. The footsteps were getting closer, heading toward the kitchen. I whispered my address to the operator, barely audible, and then hung up, hoping the police would arrive in time. The footsteps stopped just outside the kitchen.
On the audible, helping the police with what? He's playing hide and seek with the guy who's breaking into his house. Am I lost? Like, instead of turning this shit into a video game, and you hide in every corner waiting to get a chance to... You just hiding, talking about... 911. 911. Yeah. He's in my house. I can hear it get closer. Anyone breaking my house, but I'm in every corner. Boy, I'm there. I'm behind you. And you don't least expect it. Bitch, fuck are you talking about?
And I held my breath, praying they wouldn't find me. But then the person stepped into the kitchen. I could see their shadow on the floor, moving closer to where I was hiding. I knew I had to do something. I couldn't just sit there and wait to be discovered. My eyes darted around the room, searching for anything I could use as a weapon. I spotted a heavy frying pan on the stove and slowly reached
Oh, now
for
you
it,
want to do that.
trying not to make a sound. Just as I grabbed the handle, the intruder turned the corner and saw me.
I was there the whole time.
Our eyes locked for a brief second, and I saw the cold, menacing look in his eyes. He was a tall man, dressed in dark clothing, with a hood pulled over his head. He looked dangerous, like someone who wouldn't hesitate to hurt me. Without thinking, I swung the frying pan as hard as I could.
Yeah. He doesn't hesitate. I mean, he did just break into your house. He probably saw you walking there too. This nigga think you a bitch, and all you been doing is proving him right. He know you a hoe. Imagine a nigga be outside your house trying to play you like you a sucker or something. Should be scratching on your walls and shit, like he in a horror movie. And then he gonna play with your goddamn back door. Trying to open that bitch, trying to padlock that. Trying to get up all up in your shit. And now he walking inside the house, going door to door to door. Who he looking for? He ain't find no jewelry, no money, no nothing. He looking for your ass. You finna die. I'm telling you, the nigga dead.
It connected with a sickening thud, and the man stumbled back, clutching his head. I didn't wait to see if he would recover.
Yeah.
I bolted out of the kitchen and ran toward the front door. As I reached the door, I heard the man getting up behind me. Panic surged through me as I fumbled with the lock, my hands shaking uncontrollably. I could hear him coming closer, his footsteps quick and angry. Finally, I managed to unlock the door and threw it open. I ran outside into the cold night, not stopping until I was halfway down the street. I glanced back to see if he was following me, but the street was empty. The house loomed behind me, dark and silent, as if nothing had happened. Moments later, I heard sirens in the distance. The police arrived and searched the house, but the intruder was gone. They told me I was lucky to have escaped unharmed, but I didn't feel lucky.
Oh, he finna die.
I felt shaken, violated, and terrified.
They didn't tell you that. They didn't tell you that you were lucky to have survived. What they should have told you is you gonna die. You gonna die. Oh yeah, you dead. Your ass is grass. Yeah, you're gonna die. You didn't hit this nigga. He had the audacity to come up in your crib and you hit him. Big round of applause. Real shit. Yeah, you stood on business. But guess what now? Now you finna die. Let me tell you how you gonna die. You gonna die because this nigga was brave enough and you use a hoe. Walked up in your shit looking for ya. When he found you, you done smacked him over the head once and ran. Not only did you have the audacity to hit him in the head, but you ran. You's a bitch. He gonna come back. He gonna come back and he gonna kill you. He gonna kill you. Yeah, you dead. Yeah, you dead. You better tell your family.
That night changed everything. I never felt safe in that house again. The silence that I once found comforting had become a constant reminder of how vulnerable I was. And every time I heard a noise, no matter how small, my heart would race, fearing that the intruder had returned.